Now that you understand our traps, let's take a look at where we trap. You want to take samples from ideal mosquito environments around each section of the city. In the past, we've set traps in low-lying areas and areas near standing water on vacant and public land. Try to use as many of your traps as possible so you get a good amount of samples. This is our weekly agenda form we use to plan out our trapping for the week. We currently have 7 working traps, and we try to split them up evenly throughout the city for each day. It keeps track of where we're putting our traps and where we're taking them next. It's easier to plan it so that the traps aren't far apart, so you're not running all around the city. We also have area for larviciding notes and then room to take notes on the trapping. Here we have an example of a completed weekly agenda form. As you can see here, we had some issues in day 1 where we had some crazy storms that filled up our traps with water, so they didn't work. But you can also see that we included how many mosquitoes we caught at each location and their trap ID. We also marked down the day's weather, the mileage, and kept track of where and how much we larvicided. We use a mosquito vacuum to collect mosquitoes from the net. Turn it on here, put the nozzle in and scoop up the mosquitoes. Leave it on until you put the nozzle in one of the collection tubes. Turn it off. If there's any live ones, you may need to bang it on your knee until they get in the bottom, and then get the cap on real quickly. And then you take the collection tube to the freezer. Don't forget to label your collection tubes. You'll need to label the tubes with the trap ID, location name, and the date. Only samples of 10 or more will be sent in for testing. Samples should be brought back to the health department and placed in the lab's deep freezer for at least 2 hours. When fully frozen, the samples are ready for counting. To count the mosquitoes, you will use this weighing paper,
the weighing paper,
these small testing tubes,
the tubes,
these metal sifters, and a funnel.
So much fun.
All these items are located in the lab's top drawer, shown here. Dump a collection sample onto the weighing paper. Brush the non-mosquitoes off the paper to be thrown away later. Count the mosquitoes and pour them into a small sample tube. Make sure these tubes are labeled the same as the collection tubes, but add the number of mosquitoes in each tube. We usually just use the same labels that we had on the collection tubes. After counting the mosquitoes, clean up your tools. We ain't your mom. And don't forget to wipe down the counter space. To package the samples, get a box and place 1 sheet of insulation at the bottom. Next, place in an ice pack. Now you can put in the samples, but you might want to wrap them in something like bubble wrap first. Now you can put in another ice pack on top of this, followed by 1 more sheet of insulation. Don't forget to include a copy of the mosquito field record for that week and an addressed shipping form. We found it best to prepare samples for shipping on the last workday of the week, so you can ship them first thing Monday morning. You can keep the package in the freezer until the day of shipping.
If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask these guys.
You'll need to fill out 2 shipping forms for each sample package sent to testing. The one placed on the outside of the package is of course addressed from the Canton City Health Department to the Ohio Department of Health Vector-Borne Disease Lab. The second one included in the package is addressed from the ODH VBD to the CCHD.
OMG, LOL.
You can look in the binder at previous year's receipts to find the addresses and the account code.